Yep, next up we have Westwood Elementary School presentation from Principal Derek Branton.
Good evening, Chair Dahlgren and Superintendent Jett and members of the Board of Education. I am thoroughly excited to be here tonight. I am pleased to present our school, Westwood Elementary School. We are Westwood proud. Home to 467 students. Our building is pre-K through 5, and our preschool program continues to hold a waiting list. Who are we? We are the home of the Wildcats. Our belief is that at Westwood that students come to school every day to learn something new in a safe learning environment. We follow the Westwood way: to be safe, to be kind, to be your best, and to be a positive learner. The daily attendance rate at Westwood is 97%. Proactive attendance letters and meetings are held with families with attendance concerns. Less than 1% of our student population is being targeted for attendance concerns as of October 2017. The purpose, the why, the students. Our mission at Westwood is to create a year's worth of growth for all students in reading and in math. We continue to create social emotional learning opportunities for our students to strengthen their personal development and capabilities. Our job at Westwood is to prepare them for future steps. Success starts now. We are implementing AVID in our grades 4 and 5. AVID's mission is to close the achievement gap, especially students traditionally underserved in higher education. 4 of the fundamental pillars of AVID are instruction, culture, leadership, and systems. We have a very highly qualified staff. Our expectations for students is driven through care and compassion. We are student-centered with high expectations for students for personal growth and achievement. We have 45 licensed staff members, average teaching experience of 25 plus years. Over 15 years have been spent at Westwood alone. Our total number of staff is slightly under 80 at 79. We at Westwood believe that we want to empower students, give them the authority or power to do something that creates change and that moves people. We at Westwood want to inspire. We want to fill them with the urge or the ability to do something, especially to do something very creative. We believe in teamwork and collaboration, the combined action of a group of people, especially when it's effective and efficient. Some of our key partnerships and characteristics that describe our partnerships at Westwood are supportive, rewarding, and service. Some of our local partnerships include the Apollo High School athletes and students and aides, local universities of St. Cloud State University, St. Ben's, and St. John's, America Reads, Catholic Charities, and AmeriCorps. Westwood's vision and focus for the 2017-18 school year is to make your mark, to be your authentic self, to be purposeful, to be passionate, to be committed, and to be a difference maker. We want to empower students with critical thinking skills and capabilities to dig deeper into depths of knowledge with inquiry-based learning at Westwood. Some of our teacher development opportunities this year include mind frames, high operational teaching strategies, courageous conversations, and mindset and grit. Our demographics this year at Westwood look like, 64% of our students are white, 11% of our students are Asian, 9.6% of our students are black, and 4.8% of our students are Hispanic. Our free and reduced lunch count at Westwood is 50%. Our fabulous kitchen staff does an amazing job of connecting with our students and making our cafe a family environment. Breakfast counts continue to grow each day. Recently, they served over 200 students in one morning at Westwood. Student growth and success. Last year, as measured by STAR, we had accelerated growth in grades 1st, 2nd, 4th, and 5th. As measured by STAR in math, we had accelerated growth in 1st, 2nd, and 4th. And all ethnic groups scored above 59% in SGP in math. Our special education population at Westwood is 19%. This is the largest special education population of any elementary school in St. Cloud. Our EL population is 11.2%. Our access scores, composites for listening, reading, speaking, and writing, as measured in 2016, 49% of our EL students scored above 80%, as measured by the access scores. Westwood services 55 students in our EL program. Westwood has been in a Pbis exemplar school for the last 5 years. We were part of Cohort 1 with the state of Minnesota, and have been a part of school-wide Pbis for the past 12 years. The Pbis framework is the foundation to the success of Westwood. Our monthly Pbis themes: kindness, responsibility, effort, self-control, attitude, fairness, cooperation, honesty, and pride. These words build our social emotional structure at Westwood for all students. Our Pbis data shows that we average less than 2 behavior referrals each day. The remaining 2% are receiving either Tier 2 or Tier 3 interventions through proactive student plans with a behavior support specialist. At Westwood, our building has a differentiation specialist that works with selected grades in reading and in math, while conducting school-wide enrichment for all students. At Westwood, we have high achievement clusters in grades 2 through 5. These students are selected by assessments and teacher input for the high achievement clusters. We use both achievement and ability assessments to ensure equitable access for all students. These students have needs at different times. Flexible grouping is important. Students who are demonstrating proficiency and require additional challenges receive extra support from our differentiation specialist. The differentiation specialist also coaches our Knowledge Bowl team. This is an academic competition designed in a quiz bowl format. These are 5th graders. Knowledge Bowl is an after-school enrichment activity, and recently, our Westwood teams placed 1st and 2nd at a meet at Kennedy. Westwood has a total of 3 Knowledge Bowl teams. Some of the success academically we attribute to our intense Tier 2 and 3 interventions. They're developed through a comprehensive MTSS approach that analyzes student data and concerns. We use research-based learning strategies to improve student achievement. Social-emotional development at Westwood is important. Focus work within the classrooms with responsive classroom and conscious discipline. There are multiple reasons for our success with the social emotional learning. Our behavior resource support specialist provides positive and proactive breaks for students. We have communication between home and school, daily routines, a buddy system, and adult mentors to check in and check out with students as needed. Here's a sample of our September Students of the Month at the monthly assembly. These students were acknowledged in September by their classroom teachers for displaying outstanding behavior within the behavior trait of kindness. Parents are encouraged to attend the monthly assemblies, and they take great pride in their students at these reward celebrations. Other routines that you might see at our assemblies would include singing the Westwood School song, fifth graders acting out or singing out the next Pbis trait, and winners, of course, get a small prize and a fantastic lunch with the principal. Celebrations, we always want to celebrate the success of our students. Here's an example. Westwood students are being recognized at the Vera Russell Art Gallery at St. Cloud State University. The gallery showcases the work of young artists in pre-K through 12. These young artists have the opportunity to be recognized for their artistic works. And there are award winners from last year with our amazing art teacher. Our continued growth of new partnerships at Westwood is important. Recently, this past year, we have formed a relationship with Culver's of Waite Park, and they have teamed with their building to promote 3 events this school year. And PAW for a back-to-school ice cream social, activities at our Fall Fest, and a Westwood night at the local restaurant. Celebrations and honoring student success are important to our school culture. Students take great pride in our school and are eager to show off their enthusiasm. Westwood Wildcats rock. Our school community at Westwood is a fabulous learning institution, creating foundational learning opportunities and lasting memories. I have a video to show you.
Job is helping kids find books that will empower them to become better readers and develop a lifelong love of reading. I think the most exciting thing is when kids really connect with a book or with an author, and then they keep reading and reading and are so excited, and then eventually branch out onto other areas of topics they would like to read about.
We want our students to be 90% or higher in proficiency in reading, and we work together to achieve those goals. And I'm able to do that in a small group setting when the students are really, really struggling. We develop skills that empower them to be able to read at a higher level than what they came to me at.
Our second grade students today, we're doing multiple perspectives within our depth and complexity strand of with our high achievers today, and what we're doing is just looking at 2 different ways stories can be told. We're using the 3 Little Pigs, for example, of 2 different perspectives. This definitely empowers students to think creatively and think outside the box.
Empowering students at Westwood happens every day as we work in the art room. I'm lucky to see every student at Westwood and be there as they problem solve and they think outside the box and create using their brains in maybe ways that they don't in their classroom. Students can feel successful, students can achieve, and everyone can leave art feeling like they can do it.
I inspire students by helping them out with whatever they need help with, by giving them a high five or walking them to the nurse's office when they're sick, just being there for them when they need help with something, and letting them know there's a person in the school, and there's many people, but being there for them in the school when they need help with something.
I get to love a lot of kids. I don't have to love them, I get to love them. Often little people with special needs have so many needs, but it's my job to first create this incredible relationship with them before I teach them anything, so that they know I'm a safe, trusting, loving person. And then after I have that, then it's my job to go about the business of teaching.
We keep them involved. We enjoy having them around. We know them by name. We know their moms, their parents when they drop them off in the morning. We're family.
Yeah, we try and make breakfast and lunch the place to be when they come. We're happy to see them. They're yelling our names. We greet them by name. They're happy to come to breakfast and lunch every day.
I inspire students by motivating them to be successful in school and in the classrooms. I help them reach their goals every day. I help them kind of fit in with everybody else in the school. It's a place for kids to come so they can take breaks when they need them. It's really motivating to see them all work together and to reach their goals in the end.
I like Westwood because it's really friendly, welcoming, and safe. The teachers care about us, and I have a lot of friends here.
You can always have someone at your back when you're struggling through hard times, and a teacher can always inspire you.
Westwood proud.
Westwood proud.
Westwood proud.
Westwood proud.
Westwood proud!
Westwood proud.
All right, thank you, Derek. Does anyone have any questions for Derek? Jeff?
That's not really a question, more of a statement. I just want to thank you for a job well done. As you know, I'm in your building often. I always see a common denominator in there, and that's passion, and I think that comes from the top down, so kudos.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, just one comment to both Derek and Lori. I thought the presentations were excellent, and I like the presentation style that you've used here. And I think, Lori, as you started it off and you made the statement that this is really the rest of the story, too often we get bogged down in the data and the test scores and forget about the rest of the child and the rest of the education that goes on. And I think that your presentations did a good job of showing the passion of the staff and yourselves toward educating children and the great things that are going on in our school. So I would say congratulations, and let's keep the format. I do appreciate also the background information we got that includes a lot of that data, but to hear the rest of the story and to see the kids, I think is a great job. So thank you.
Jerry?
I too enjoyed the presentation, and on committee we had some discussion about the difference in emphasis and having the data in the packet, and generally I agree with that. I have somewhat mixed emotions when a school comes before that has really great results, and then the new format, goes for both of you, kind of suppresses that. And as people know, I'm kind of a data rat, and your reading and math scores have been going up off the charts since So, one sort of wants to flaunt that. And, but the new system kind of avoids that. And I think not without reason, because these other things are tremendously important, but it would be nice if your people, the people you serve, were aware. And I see some nodding, but your reading and math scores are off the charts, and congratulations for that part of it too.
Bruce?
Well, I was going to say if anybody else had a comment first before I made another comment, but just one thing. I think the data is important also, and I appreciate getting it as part of our packet. One of the questions I would have is the way that it is presented in the packet. It seemed to me, and maybe I just couldn't follow it closely enough, but that we didn't use the same benchmark graphs at both schools. In other words, in comparing, you might say, the same data. And I don't know if that's intentional or not. It seemed like some graphs might have had the left axis went up to 90%, and at the other school, maybe 80% or 45 and 65 or whatever. And I don't know if that's the case, but I would just recommend that it's helpful, I think, for me as a school board member, as we're looking at this data, if we can be kind of seeing the same measurements for each school. Thank you.
And that might be partly the fault of the last committee meeting where we had a chart where the numbers were way up at the top, and the differences were on that scale so tiny that you couldn't tell. And so I guess it was me, and I said, hey, could you if it looks like that, could you move the scale so that we can see the differences? And it's kind of, you can't win, can you?
Well,
but they do a great job.
Right, and I'm just saying, I think the help, maybe nobody else feels that way, but the helpful thing to me would be, whatever it's going to be, that it be consistent from one school to the other.
I think that makes sense.
Monica?
Hi, thank you for your presentation. How many students do you have total?
In the presentation, I put 467. I just got updated today. We're at 470 now.
And also, I would like you to tell us a little bit more about the knowledge teams. Like, if you can tell us a little bit more, what are they, how kids participate on them, what kids do get to participate on them. Does it work the whole year? If you can give us a little bit more about that, please.
As far as the knowledgeable team, and we have a few additional young authors and young illustrators too. Those students are, I guess, kind of vetted out with some data in terms of 5th grade students that have the skill, ability to and willingness to want to be able to participate in an after-school activity like that. So we used test scores and some competitive kind of tryouts that way too, where kids get an opportunity to be able to participate that way. But it's usually if they want to participate at that point, most of them get an opportunity to be able to participate.
Anyone else? Billy?
In the conversation about data, so I just want to make sure that I throw something out there. In the audience, Dr. Sylvia Huff, I was watching her pen. So she was listening to the board discussion, and I know that that's one thing that we're always trying to enhance, make it better, make it more understandable. So thank you for the comments, because I saw her nodding her head saying, we will incorporate. The other thing that I wanted to throw out there, and so as superintendent, I get a chance to one of the best parts of my job is to be in schools. And so these two schools in particular, when I looked at the presentation, it was great for me to be able to see what I experience every day when I walk into buildings. And our community doesn't get a chance to necessarily do that. They're reading something, they're listening to the radio, but they're not actually getting a chance to feel. They're not getting a chance to actually be part of. In the presentation, the part that I appreciated was you're looking at students' faces, teachers' faces, people, and you're getting this feel of the atmosphere or the climate within buildings. So I wanted to say thank you for that. On a last note, there was a slide from Westwood, and there was a young lady in the picture. And so earlier in the year, I shared a story with the board about a young lady. She was a first grader, and not a first grader, a kindergartner, and let's just say she got misplaced on the bus on the very first day of school. Okay, so I think everybody kind of remembers that story a little bit. She's on one of those slides, and she loves going to school to Westwood, and her family is thrilled with her being at Westwood. And she was someone holding a Student of the Month deal there. And so I just happened to see that slide, and that's just, if it's October, that's 6 weeks ago or so, where this young lady had a traumatic first day, and to this moment, to this day, she cannot wait to get on the bus. She cannot wait to get to school, and she does have a bus buddy still, but she loves going to school. So that's just an example of what happens within our school system. So thank you.
And I have a similar story. Number one, I live out in the St. Joseph community, and I know how people feel about the school out there, and I never hear anything but positive comments about Kennedy and how wonderful that school is, and I mean, they just love it out there. And with Westwood, one of my employees, her son is a kindergartner at Westwood this year, and I know that he's been a handful the whole first 5 years of his life. I mean, it's been somewhat of a struggle for her. This year, I mean, when he started at Westwood, she says it's like a new kid. He's so engaged. She says, you know, how long have we been in school now? For 3 months, and she's just like, I cannot believe how much he has learned so far, and his behavior patterns have completely changed, and he just, you know, he's engaged in things, and I mean, she has nothing but positive to say about Westwood. So both schools are a great example of what District 742 is all about. So thank you both for presenting.